Some of these are bar tools that you need, and even more of them are bar tools that you don't. But I want to share with you the bar tools that I enjoy using the most. These aren't necessarily the most important or most essential bar tools. Some of them are, but they're the ones that I reach for most often and the ones that I like to use, or the ones that I love to use. Now, when you look at cocktails, whether you consider it a craft, a fun activity, or a hobby, it's no different than other activities in your life. Maybe it's cooking and you have a favorite kitchen tool, like a zester or a unitasking garlic press. Those might not be the best examples. Or maybe you like to tinker in the garage and have certain tools that you just love to use, even if it might not be the best or newest or greatest tool for the job. So I want to talk about some of my favorite bar tools, and I have 10 of them. No particular order, except that I'll start with the one that is the most essential, and I'll end with the one that is the most fun. First and most important, you need a way to shake a cocktail, and out of all of these tins, these are my favorites. But back in the day, when you wanted to find shaker tins, you had a hard time finding ones that fit together. Online didn't really have a lot of places that sold them, so you'd have to go to restaurant supply stores and you'd have to know what sizes to get. I would buy them online, and that's why I ended up with a bunch of tins that don't match. They're not the right size. They don't fit together. Now fast forward to today, and these are the Koriko shaker from Cocktail Kingdom, and they're pretty standard, but they are the best, and to me it's not even close. They're light, yet sturdy, they're well built, and best of all is that they are pliable. That flex there means that you don't have to hit the tin with the back of your palm to release it. You just need to squeeze, and they come apart, even if you've shaken so much that they feel like you'll never get it apart. Now, most bar tools might say to hand wash, but these tins have been through my dishwasher hundreds of times, and they're fine. Well, the name of these is Koriko, and you could see some Japanese characters on it. Don't let that fool you, because these are from Cocktail Kingdom, and they're based in America. They're based in New York City. And these aren't too expensive, but you can find cheaper ones at the restaurant supply store, but I wouldn't buy those. I would spend a few bucks more because these might last you a lifetime. One of the last times that I was in a restaurant supply store, I just picked one of these up, not a Cocktail Kingdom one, and the weight here just fell off. Brand new, the weld broke. So they're not expensive. Somewhere between $10 and $15 per tin. But my suggestion is, if you're investing in barware, to buy a couple of these, at least 2 sets of these. I have 3, and I probably could use a couple more. Next up, we need to be able to measure our cocktails, so you need a jigger. And going back to Cocktail Kingdom, because the one that I use the most that you see on the channel is the Leopold Jigger. It's not the best ever, and it's not even my preference really, but this looks the best on camera. I mean, just look at this thing. When you are looking for a jigger, you want something that you find comfortable to use, and most importantly, it's accurate. Now that means it has all the indicators that you need, and for the cocktails I make, I want that to go from a 1/4 ounce all the way up to 2 ounces, and I want to make sure that those lines are easy to see or the measurements are easy to read. Now, the Japanese style jigger that you see right here is the most popular that you'll come across in bars, and that's because of the accuracy. The taller and narrower your jigger, the more accurate you will be because of the surface area. Now, hear me out. If you overshoot a tall and narrow jigger, you're not going to be off by that much, but if you overshoot something that has a very wide opening, then you will be off by a lot more. And these right here, they're not Japanese either. These are made from Cocktail Kingdom and made popular by them. And the owner of Cocktail Kingdom was inspired to make this style after visiting Japan. But they're not original to Japan. They are from the United States. You can even see the original patent images for them. Next up, we need to be able to strain our cocktails. And do you need this many strainers? No. But you do need at least one quality Hawthorne strainer, and make sure you get a modern version with the more tightly packed coils. This one also happens to be Cocktail Kingdom. The springs not only help it hold back ice, but make it more flexible in a wide variety of tins and glasses. Now, you young whippersnappers out there probably don't remember, but back in my day, this was the type of strainer that we had, this sort of loose spring. Things have come a long ways since then. I mean, this will work in a pinch, but if you are going to invest in quality barware, then you should get a quality Hawthorne strainer. Also something that should last you forever and can go into your dishwasher. So far, we have covered 3 things from Cocktail Kingdom, and while I make YouTube videos and I want you to click on links that are affiliate links, they don't even have an affiliate thing. This is just, they make the best stuff, and I want you to know that. If you don't know that already, I get nothing from this. It's not sponsored by them. There's no affiliate links that I'm aware of. So far, these are just my favorite tools that I use. And if you're going to invest in, especially metal bar tools, then make sure you get ones that are quality, that will hopefully last you a lifetime or longer. You can pass it on to your kids. Ladies and gentlemen, do you hear that sound? It is obviously time to talk about juicers, and my favorite juicer. You'll need to juice some citrus, and this one is the best in my humble opinion, of course. This Barfly Juicer gives you great leverage. That means you can really press on it. You can fit lemons, limes, grapefruits, pieces of pineapple, pomegranates, and anything else your heart desires. It also holds your liquids, which is nice, a little container. It's big, it's clunky, and it's ugly, but it's the best. That's why I continue to use it every chance that I get. It'll get you more yield than other juicers as well, and I have tested that. Oh, and make sure that it's cast aluminum if you're looking on Amazon, not stainless, not plastic. Stainless will bend and plastic will break. Also, never put these cast aluminum barware tools or this juicer in a dishwasher because it'll ruin it. Next up, you will need some knives. And while a paring knife is fine, why not be fancy? These Shun knives are my favorite. These are knives that my wife and I started getting about 10, 15 years ago. And we got more, or probably our last ones for our wedding. And do you need all of them? No. But I like using good knives. And every time that I use it, it's a little chance for me to practice my knife skills. So you need something that's sharp, something that you can use safely. And I do like the Japanese style knives that have the thinner blades. You definitely don't need a dedicated cutting board for bar stuff, but it's fun to have one. I have this little booze board and it's great. I keep it over here. It's right there pretty much all the time. Just make sure you're getting solid wood, ideally a hardwood and not bamboo. Plastic cutting boards are fine. You can put them in the dishwasher, but please, stop using glass cutting boards. They serve no purpose and they're just dangerous. You're making all your syrups and tinctures, and how are you, now an old person, going to figure out what's what? A label maker, of course. You can get fancy and buy some cheap USB print-on-demand, but a vintage embossing label maker, there ain't nothing cooler than that. Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce you to the Dymo Organizer 1610 or 1610 as I like to call it. Only available on eBay or thrift shops near office parks. This guy is sleek and a little weird to use. There is only one trigger. You hard press to emboss, and then an easy pull to advance it. Also, the cutting mechanism is a little weird because it cuts behind where you can see, so you have to kind of advance the tape before you cut it, or you cut into the print. It's kind of strange, but it takes some getting used to. It's a fun game. You can find new ones, but I would not buy these. These new Dymos are trash. The labels they print look awful. So find yourself a vintage one on eBay if you're looking for one. And if you can find some vintage tape as well, I find that works best. And here's a fun pro tip for you if you're looking on eBay. Make sure that listing has a picture of an embossed label so you can see how clearly defined those labels are and the text is in each character. Because if they're just showing you the label maker and not showing you how it prints a label, then you might end up with a piece of garbage like the new modern day Dymos. Next, we're going back to measuring with teaspoons, and I like having a dedicated set of teaspoons for cocktails. I like the ones from Barfly that have these long handles that are easy to reach and for me to grab. In fact, all of these are from Barfly, except for one. I have a 1/4 teaspoon for just xanthan gum. Those of you into frozen drinks know what I'm talking about. I like the fact that these are longer because it's easier to hold over a glass and to grab and to clean. You can also use them as a tasting spoon. Obviously, wash them after every use. There's not much else to them. I wouldn't say that I really even love them that much, but they are very useful, especially in cocktails, especially the historic ones that call for teaspoons. Sometimes you need 2 teaspoons, and what's nice is this comes with a 2 teaspoon teaspoon. Proper cocktails require proper ice, so you will need an ice scoop. I don't like the metal ones. They always stick to the ice unless your ice is melted. And even if you keep that metal scoop in the freezer, the ice still sticks to it. So opt for something plastic. I like this Cambro one. It's pretty robust and you can leave this in the freezer all the time. Or if you want to go old school, then get yourself a Tupperware 761 nestable and dripless measuring cup. Get the whole set if you'd like, but the 1 cup is mandatory. Using 1 cup of ice each time means it's repeatable and predictable. And I know that 1 scoop of ice in a tin plus 1 scoop of ice in a glass plus half of a spent lime shell fills a Mai Tai glass perfectly each and every time. And now the final item, the Hamilton Beach DrinkMaster. Do you need one? No. Well, yes. Yes, you do. 'Tis the season, after all. Drink mixers are great for quickly chilling and diluting cocktails, and they create great texture. They'll chop up your ice a little, but they will provide glorious foam when shaking just can't get you there. But mainly, they just look cool. You can buy new ones, but you can also buy vintage ones, which are plentiful. This is the number 30 made in the 1940s. There are differences in the motor, and this one is more powerful. But when you buy vintage, you do run the risk of it not working or maybe even being dangerous. I do unplug this when not in use for my safety. If I was in the market and spending over $100 to $150, I would make sure it has 2 discs on the spindle. Not necessary, but nice to have. The bottom does most of the work, but they added the top one eventually to aid in aeration, to mix drinks faster, and to pull the light ingredients back down into the mix. You can find smaller, cheaper versions online, and one of you can even take home my first drink mixer, which was a vintage one, but I'm the only user that I'm aware of. I basically bought it brand new, even though it was 40 years old. So if you want this, it's available in the Make and Drink shop. Now, if you do get one that is extremely powerful, just make sure you get the right blade attachment on the bottom. It makes a huge difference. Most have this butterfly disc, but there are ones that are made for like hard ice cream, and those will decorate your room in a cocktail motif. So make sure you have the right blade attached. So there you go, folks, my 10 favorite bar tools. You don't have to be into tropical drinks or tiki drinks or rum drinks to like or appreciate or use these things. Most of these are pretty basic bar tools. Obviously, the DrinkMaster kind of comes up when you're talking about old school Don the Beachcomber style drinks, but this thing needs to be used more often. It does such a good job at chilling and diluting and creating foam and texture. You want to make a Ramus Gin Fizz, you want to do a Clover Club, you just want to make a Mai Tai, you can and maybe should be using this. It's easy to use, and then you just have to clean the base of this. I clean mine by taking a tin with some hot water and running it underneath of it, but I know from others that they just use like boiling water. But they're easy to use and they're fun, and everything else here is just very basic bar tools. But if you're looking to upgrade or you're just starting out and you don't know what to get, I would seriously suggest making sure that you invest in higher quality. It doesn't mean you're going to pay 2 or 3 times as much. It might just be a few bucks more. But for things like these tins, that is a big difference. I have so many tins, and I only use the Koriko ones now, unless I have to use the other ones. And when I do have to use the other ones, I'm just kind of upset that I have to use it. So if you enjoyed this video, let me know in the comments below. Give this video a like, subscribe to this channel. If there is a favorite bar tool of yours that is missing from this list, I want to know. I'm always looking to upgrade, to use better things, or maybe there's a tool that I just don't know about. If you want to support this channel more, check out my Patreon page, and otherwise, see you on the next one.